Welcome back to another episode of IndieFilm Insider. Today we're talking with Dean Garcia. Dean is a freelance videographer who dedicates most of his time on bigger sets in the G&E or grip and electric department.
In this episode, we talked about the creative aspects of filmmaking, his film journey, and how you can use your influences to help you as a creator.
This is a great conversation with Dean, so be sure to watch the whole thing, and if you enjoy the content, like and subscribe. Now, on to our conversation with Dean Garcia. Dean, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, dude. Yeah, this is exciting. This is a big, much anticipated moment for me.
Yes.
Big podcast.
The IndieFilm Insider podcast.
It's huge. This is my first cinematic podcast, truly. So
Thank you.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Let's start off with a quick question. Who are you and what do you do in the world of film?
So my name is Dean Garcia. I'm typically on set. I work as a G&E, but I have a swath of experience. Like I've done tons of PA stuff, bunch of first AC stuff. In my not my free time. Professionally, I'm a freelancer, so I work as a freelance videographer, do a lot of social media content. I shoot weddings. And yeah, man, kind of whatever interests me and whatever pays. I've been getting a little bit into like the music video space. I've been doing a lot of G&E work on music videos recently. So, and I just did my first G&E work on a narrative project on Jake's upcoming project. I'm really
was
excited.
that your first one?
That
first
was my
narrative
first narrative project. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Everything else I've done has been in like the music video space or has been like social media or commercial. But yeah, so that's kind of me. It's hard. I struggle answering that question because I feel like I do a lot of stuff, but you want to be like a specialist. I feel at least, to like kind of maximize your chances at success. But
For anyone who doesn't know, if anyone's listening has no idea, what is G&E?
Grip and electric. So yeah, like basically it's gonna be your ultimate helper on set. Basically people that everyone that's going to operate all of the hardware surrounding the lights, sets up the lights, stands, electrical equipment, including, just all the cords and cables for the lights and stuff. I would equate it most with like almost kind of like a construction or like physical labor job. Like there's definitely a creative element, right? I mean, it's a filmmaking position, but it's more so creativity in the way that you're rigging these setups and the way you get around certain physical hurdles or logistical hurdles rather than like straight creative in the traditional sense, I think, when people think about films. But yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find it being different being on like a narrative set than it was for like a commercial set?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you guys are very professional, which I appreciate. And I mean, but it was also like a friendly, fun environment. Right. So I had a great time. But on music videos, depends on the type of music video. It really depends on the set. But like, I feel like there's a lot more potential for the schedule to get away from you on music videos, especially on some of the more scrappy productions that like don't have as much budget, where it's like a lot of homies involved, like a lot of friends, like especially like with some like more high energy stuff that have like really big like a really big talent pool. So there's like a lot of talent that we're filming. Like I had a situation a couple months ago where I worked on a music video. We were supposed to wrap at 11 and we wrapped at 3:30 in the morning because people were hanging out and having a good time because there's alcohol and weed, and so but that we're filming that stuff. It's part of the music video, but it more so lends itself to an environment that can allow things to become not less professional, but the schedule can get away from you pretty easily. So but yeah, so definitely a big difference for sure. But yeah.
What about like just technical wise? Like, is there anything you approach it differently?
Not really, man. It feels really similar. As far as like the actual work goes, 100%. It feels very similar. It's definitely, it depends on like I guess like my relationship to the crew and like how I know them and how I work with them. But that is more so a determining factor rather than the project itself. Like a lot of times, Connor is the gaffer I typically work with. I'd say like 90% of my projects, and me and him are good friends and I know him pretty well. So like if he asks, he's like, hey, can you grip for me on like X date? Like, and if I'm free, I usually just immediately say yes. Doesn't really matter what the project is. We work well together and I'm confident, we'll get a good result. So yeah.
Very cool. So typically you are like a key grip?
Typically.
Yes. So what is that, and like what's the difference between a key grip and like just like a regular like beta grip?
A beta grip. Yeah, so like a key grip. The beta grips. All the beta grips of the world. No, so a key grip is like also called like a best boy, is like someone who is basically, in the most like cynical sense, the way I could put it is, if you're a grip, like nobody wants to hear your opinion about how the shot looks. But if you're a key grip, you could be like, hey, Mr. Gaffer, what do you think about possibly doing this? Or like you have a bit of a closer relationship with the camera department and with the gaffer. So like you could make up maybe a little bit of a have a little bit of a creative influence. But ultimately it's like you would just kind of be like, there's gaffer, key grip, and then grip. So you're kind of just like the lead of your little grip department.
Kind of hierarchy.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. It's just a way to like organize things. But yeah, I guess creative input really does depend on the set. I've definitely been on sets where they don't want to hear a word out of us, but other sets where they're super eager to hear how everybody feels about everything. So yeah,
it's so weird because like input from other crew is such a slippery slope at times.
absolutely.
I can imagine the lower, I don't know if tier is the right word, maybe budget, but like the less people there are on set, the more that you, at least in my opinion, feel comfortable voicing your opinion.
100%.
Because like I'm sure if there's a DP on, I don't know, Creed 4 or what, I was just trying to think of sequels.
No, that's words,
he doesn't give a shit or she doesn't give a shit about the PA. Like, hey, what if you did this?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I can imagine because like most of the sets that we've worked on, I don't know what the term, like I know everyone's names.
Right.
I don't know how much of a flex that is on film sets.
No, but
I would hope not a very big one, but
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
assume it actually is.
Probably. Yeah.
And so like when I DP stuff, I kind of value everyone's opinions. And when we did a film like last November, and we brought someone, a PA in from like the Bay, and they were like, hey, excuse me, if you don't mind, I have a quick suggestion. I'm like, I do not give a shit. Be like, hey, what if you did this? Your shot looks like shit. I'm like, fine.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, it's kind of a weird thing to stomach because ultimately at the end of the day, as a DP or as a director, the call is yours at the end of the day. But for me, I personally value feedback immensely from everyone because everyone at the end of the day is a creative, even if they are performing more of a technical or like a G&E role.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it could be like that nice, like little bit of reassurance you need. You're like, I feel really good about this, but how do you guys feel? And they're like, dude, this is great. You're like, sweet. Like, yeah. And that kind of probably lends itself to overall like cohesiveness of the team in general, when everybody feels like valued and represented. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, just different strokes, for every set or whatever works, whatever the situation calls for. But
yeah, I don't know. I personally value feedback because like, I don't know. I feel like I miss a lot of stuff when I'm like directing. Like, I don't know. I'm so focused on like a bunch of other stuff. There might be something that like slips under the radar.
Absolutely.
And so like, I remember for our not last film, but a film we did back in 2024, August. I'll see you again, right? August-ish. There's this, basically the premise is like the main character, he's blind because he gouges his eyes out.
I've seen
you've seen that? Okay, yeah. So he's talking to the doctor about like his condition and like, oh, like is there a possibility like I'll be able to see again or whatever? And he's kind of like just monologuing at the doctor.
Right.
And there's a part where the doctor in the script, it's just like he says something and then the doctor like nods, and then our first AD Ryan was like, hey, like, if he's blind, he won't be able to see the doctor nod. So from his perspective, he'll say like a bunch of stuff about his mom and like how like emotional he is. And then there'll just be a really awkward silence for him. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So we changed it to like, to the doctor being like,
Yeah.
So
right.
we added like a little,
added
like a little vocal cue.
That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Like,
so, I really do appreciate when people like point out stuff. Cause I'm like, I wrote it, I'm directing it. There's a bunch of stuff I'm worried about that's like not as subtle as that. So
totally, yeah,
a lot of stuff that can really slip under the radar there.
Yeah, there's like so much you're thinking about and worrying about, like talent and the shot and everything, and then you're just like something so simple you wouldn't even like. Yeah, but that's the beauty of like having the team, so people like recognize things. Yeah,
and then people who are like they're not maybe not as busy on the day of shooting, so they can kind of like they have time to notice more stuff.
100%.
So.
Yeah.
It's good to have some betas.
Betas around. Some opinionless betas.
Yeah.
Don't speak to me.
Yeah, first when it's listed on cruise sheet, it's like BB grip. It's like, oh, is that best boy or bitch boy?
Bitch boy grip, yeah. Yeah, this is my bitch boy grip here. Don't let him say a word to you.
Why is it called best boy? It's such a strange name.
That is a really strange term. I don't know.
Probably sexism.
It's some sort of sexist, horrible,
honestly, probably.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know, whatever the roots of the film industry are. But I think, I'm sure to me, it's like every time I hear like film lingo or slang, like I think it's like, damn, this sounds like it was invented in like the 1930s or 1940s, which is like it was, I feel like that makes sense. But
it's a brand new medium of art,
Right,
so,
absolutely, yeah. But like all the lingo, it's very fascinating, absolutely.
And I don't know how fun the fact is, but it's the fact that editing originally was seen as a talentless, monotonous labor.
That is so hilarious.
And so the primary editors, the people who were hired as editors were all women. And as soon as people realized, wait, this is cool, you can make storytelling decisions with this, they booted them out. And it's like editing is a man's job now.
Oh my god!
I think Jake brought that up.
They're like, "Oh, good point, ladies. Get out of here."
Yeah, because originally it was like linear editing where you physically cut the film strips, and it's like, okay, just cut on action, and if there's continuity, slice it. But yeah, I think Jake brought that up on a podcast a while ago, and that's always
brilliant.
my like.
Yeah, I never knew
fun
that.
fact.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, dude, holy shit. Yeah, super fun, horrible fact.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. That's so interesting. That's funny because like I've literally been editing all day today, and usually like I break up my sessions, but I just had like a lot to do and like I had to get through a lot today, and like I was just really appreciating today the people that do that full time because like the monotony is real, but it is just super creative and super like each person could edit something 100 like totally differently, in a way you can never imagine or conceive. So yeah, absolutely.
Loaded
totally an art
question.
form.
What do you use to edit?
DaVinci, which is
Let's
the
go.
correct answer.
Okay.
Do you know what? I do understand the Premiere users because I did use Premiere for a long time, and like I do miss like I mean I know you can move your shortcuts over, but it just feels a little different. So like I understand the Premiere users, but like everybody who's like Premiere is better is like just cope, dude. Like DaVinci is so much better in every single way. But also this comes from somebody who really loves like color grading, and post is like my favorite part. So obviously DaVinci is my favorite because it's the most comprehensive,
Most all in one.
Yeah, I would say, it's definitely like the future, I would say.
And they have this revolutionary idea where you can actually buy the product
and own it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What a concept.
I know, it's really cool.
I know. That was the other thing that definitely put me away from Premiere too, as my budget got a little bit tighter, and I'm like, I can't afford a Premiere every year. This is completely ridiculous. Yeah.
I know, it's stupid. And then there's like a cancellation fee now, or like where they like charge you extra.
It's actually so brutal.
It's
I know. They'll find any way to just squeeze all the money. Like, they're like, we really love supporting creators, so we're going to squeeze every physical dollar you have out of your pocket. Yeah.
I love Adobe.
Crazy, man. Yeah, shout out to Adobe.
I still use Adobe for like...
Shout out to Adobe. Please sponsor the IndieFilm Insider podcast.
Yes. Please. We need money.
Yeah.
We need to get out of this fucking plastic
out of
table.
This plastic table, yeah.
In the backdrop of a gym.
That's right. The most cinematic looking gym and table I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I have a feeling if there was a suitable replacement for Lightroom and Photoshop, Adobe would just go belly up in like 2 years.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I've heard of Capture One. People keep talking about that.
Yeah,
it's like I don't really know much about it, but it's apparently like a Lightroom killer, allegedly.
I'm not deep enough in like the photography world. I mean, I started in photography professionally, which is funny. I'm saying I'm not deep enough in the photography world. Like I'm in enough to like do it, but I was just always my stepdad was a photographer I grew up with, and he was always like, you use Lightroom, and so like I just did that. Like it just felt like it was like
propaganda.
That's right, probably. Yeah, Adobe propaganda was drilled in my head from an early age. But it just like was the platform I'm most comfortable with. But yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to like using other ones. But Lightroom is still within the budget. It's still fairly affordable. It's not as outrageous as Premiere, but yeah, and I do enjoy the robustness of it. It's quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this is implemented yet, but I saw this thing a while ago where it was like an Adobe like investor conference or some shit, and they showed off this feature. I think it was probably AI driven, where you take a 2D object and it Photoshop makes it 3-dimensional.
Whoa.
So if it's on an X and Y, you would be able to rotate it on a Z axis.
That's awesome.
And it would automatically like fill it. I don't know, because I saw it on I think like Reddit or something, and the top comment was like, bro, this was unveiled years ago. I'm like, the fuck, I've never fucking heard of it.
I've never seen this. It's cool to me.
It's like, because Adobe has the capital to be able to make these, I don't know if I want to say groundbreaking technological
features,
advancements, but like probably realistically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they were the first people who actually implemented automatic subtitles, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, 100%. I remember that was a big deal. Yeah, and some of the AI features in the last like Premiere update are like pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, I do think like that is like the one like sort of, I'm thinking AI and filmmaking is sort of like a controversial like combination right now. But that is one benefit, like as far in the way of like editing software specifically. Like now there's sort of an arms race between the softwares to see like who can have the best AI implementation and best AI tools, and that's only serving creators, like especially for like me, like it's really sped up my workflow, like with like social media stuff, like because like subtitles took hours, bro, so many hours. I remember when it was a big deal like that you had subtitles, but now it's like so expected because like even like CapCut can put automatic subtitles on everything, you know. So but
so weird because honestly, because I think there are a lot of brands who are just using code and calling it AI. Because like there's a bunch of shit where it's like
that was possible before.
It's like this revolutionary automatic color grading with AI. It's like, is that really AI?
Well, the thing is that's true, but it could also be like that process is now sped up by AI implementation. So in itself is not specifically AI, but they're using AI to like speed that process up. And like now, from a marketing perspective, it's probably like a good thing if you're like a tech company to be like, we use AI to do it because people are like, oh, that's like the new smart thing, you know?
Yeah. That's gonna change in like 5 years.
Probably, yeah, it could be because everything was gonna be AI.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think AI to me is not as like scary as it is to a lot of people.
For sure.
I know a lot of people are like really terrified of using it in filmmaking. It's helped me like write all my scripts and
absolutely.
do. I'm kidding.
It's helping me write. Yeah, it's helping me write honestly
Exactly.
everything. It's written. Well, let's see, all my dialogue.
Directs for me.
Yeah, it directs for me. If someone's like, hey, what do you think about this? And you're like, hang on. I gotta ask ChatGPT really quick. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm not as in fear of ChatGPT or AI as some other people are. I think it is limited, and obviously it's gonna get better. It's gonna get probably incomprehensibly better, but
of course, no, I mean, like, we don't get weeds here, but like, I feel like the singularity is real and like will happen eventually, right? But like, as far as AI and filmmaking, I mean, I think ultimately, like, you know, it's a tool, especially with like some production stuff. Like, I'm working and producing like a project that like we're still in like the early stages. Somebody just kind of asked if I'd be willing to do it because nobody else is down, because I think producing is like a pretty brutal it can be pretty brutal like logistically, and like I've been using ChatGPT to help me like figure things out because like I'm just confused and like need help organizing things and stuff. And so I mean, it's definitely it's a tool and it's meant to be used, you know. So
exactly. It's like when calculators came out, you know, people were like probably like, don't use a calculator. You must do it handwritten, and you must do it all like in your head. You must do it all like, you know, by yourself.
I feel like I had this conversation with my parents like when I was a kid, like, and like honestly, it was probably like middle school. I was like always using my calculator, and like there was a class where it was like, you need to be able to do this without a calculator, and I was like, what is the point of that? I was like, but I can always use a calculator. She's like, well, my mom's like, what if you can't? And I'm like, well, like, there will be calculators in the future. Like, there will be more calculators. Like, I will always have a calculator. So, but yeah, I guess it's kind of a similar argument. But
because my big thing with AI is like someone pointed out, it's like, okay, with filmmaking or art in general, AI cannot come up with something that has not been come up yet.
It's an unoriginal, and it's like in the like I don't know what I'm kind of at a loss for like what the word is, but in its essence, it's like unable to create original ideas. I can only pull from things that have already existed. So absolutely.
Just inherently.
But you could argue also, like, does anybody really have an original idea that like hasn't been conceived before, you know, like especially in filmmaking? Like, if you make something, like, you could if you really wanted to, you could point at like 4 or 5 other things that like are emulative or like were inspired by, or, you know, like, so
sure. I think the thing with that is like there's always the adage of like, if 2 people get 2 different scripts, you'll get 2 very different movies out of it.
100%. That's true as well.
And that's just kind of like the argument against the whole concept of like, is there even anything original nowadays?
Or ever.
Right, exactly.
Philosophical.
It's either all original or none of it is, right? But that's interesting. Absolutely. I don't know, man, I just do my best. I write things like I was like, this is probably unoriginal in some capacity, but you know, whatever.
We brought you onto the podcast. Now we're talking about how like nothing's original and everything. Just give up.
Just give up. Give up now. Right.
Well, it's a good segue. Like, what are you writing right now? Can you share? What can you share?
I can't. So I don't want to get like into the details, but I'm writing my first short film script. So that's
very cool.
You know, like, I mean, I write things a lot, but like I think my kind of like my struggle as a creative is like I'm very good at like starting things, and I'll get like really interested in something, and I'm like very like sort of like addictive in like my like creative tendencies. So like I'll focus on one thing for like a week or multiple weeks, like a month, and I'll get super invested and I like get really excited about it. And then like when it comes to like, okay, now it's time to like logistically plan everything out or get to like some part of the creative process and I'm not as privy to, or that I struggle a little bit with more, like immediately I like kind of drop off, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's more so I'm definitely telling everybody I know, like in the film, like in my film, you know, kind of group, that like I'm writing this, and like not that like, you know, just to kind of hold myself accountable, I think.
Yeah.
Just so people are like, oh, how's it going? And I was just like, fuck, I actually have to finish this, you know?
Right.
So like, I think maybe it's a bit of a perfectionist thing, you know, but it's, I mean, I struggle to take this advice, but I feel like it's important to be like unsacred and unserious sort of about your own creative stuff. And like, you just do your best with, you know, and don't allow yourself to like be perfectionist about it and sit through it. I mean, I honestly, like, it's funny because today I literally like rewrote the same dialogue scene like 3 times and I like stopped because I couldn't, you know, but sometimes that needs to happen. Like, you know, they'll take some space and go back to it when I'm ready. But
yeah, well, that's another thing too, is just taking a break and coming back to it with a fresh set of eyes is also super beneficial.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But no, I've been spent the past probably like year honestly getting super interested in writing and like thinking about like that, you know, that process and researching it, and like kind of like I've watched so many movies in the past year, like trying to kind of decipher what I like, what I don't like, what, you know, I think like my style could be, and like, you know, like you can only do that for so long before you actually just fucking write something, you know. So that's kind of the point that I'm at. I'm just trying to like execute now on my creative ambitions. But,
in terms of final, I guess, boss of roles, do you want to eventually write direct?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I honestly direct. We'll see. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. Like, I think I find the DP role very appealing, but I do also love writing, so I feel like naturally, like maybe it will lead to like writer director, but you know, but I don't know. I feel like I've never like run a set. I've always been like Genie or AC or like a PA or whatever, right? So I've always been an assistant to someone else, but I would feel like, you know, I would have a hard time like not wanting to do everything, you know, like, but that's I guess it's a skill, you know, you would develop over time, is learning to trust people with their, you know, their skills and their job, and like you just bring on talented people that you trust and they do a good job for you.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
that was my issue for a long time, because like Jake and I have been making films,
yeah,
but we've been making stuff for like 10 years.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And for the longest time, even up till like January of last year, I could not give up the co-director role. So I think just how it worked is we were just co-directors on all of the stuff we had ever made.
Totally. Yeah.
But as you obviously progress up through your career and you make more complex films and you skill sets increased or whatever, you like that just is not possible.
Totally.
You can't. I'm not necessarily saying you can't have co-directors, but for the most part, there needs to be one person's vision, one person's decision.
Yeah. And
I was co-director and DP. And a lot of the time, I just kind of defaulted to being the DP on it. And like, because even if you are just the DP, you can still make directorial suggestions. Like, hey, what if you said it like this? Or hey, what if you moved that way instead? And I thought there is a lot that you can do in terms of storytelling with the camera. Absolutely. It's just a whole different axis that you have to think about and work on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like such a... The image is like half of the battle, you know. It's like half of the story itself, at least to me. But so yeah, it's super instrumental. Like, and absolutely.
And
still a director.
Yeah,
the director of photography.
Yeah, director of photography. You're still directing. Yeah, always directing. Yeah,
that's kind of because as you go into the bigger and bigger sets, director means literal director.
Yeah,
as in like in charge of, as opposed to like, I don't know, creative mastermind,
right?
Because like it's so interesting, because I don't know why the gaffer isn't called the director of lighting.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I would be curious to learn like where the term gaffer came from, or like, you know, what that, like, yeah. But there is so much creativity in gaffing, because like a real professional gaffer, like some like best gaffers I've worked with, like you'll be like you'll tell them, like the director of the, you know, DP will be like, oh, like I kind of want it to feel like this. I'm like feeling a more like moody, maybe like I'm feeling like that. Nothing technical. They will tell you nothing technical, and the gaffer will be like, got it, and immediately translate that into like, technically we need to have these lights here and like bounce this or have this up or have this, like, you know, and he's able to communicate that to like the best boy and the rest of the grips, and they can do it really fast. You know, like that's like final boss of gaffers, you know, which is incredibly creative. Like having that ability is like insane. Like, yeah, I've only been a handful of times I've seen that, but like it's super impressive. You know, the director's like, I want this kind of feeling or like this kind of thing, and or director of photography, and just immediately he's like, okay, yeah, that means this is this, so we're gonna do that. Like, yeah, that's really that's the goal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like accruing enough knowledge to be able to do that. Yeah.
What got you into lighting?
Man, I love I think like just the image itself is like something that attracts me so much to filmmaking. You know, it's like making something that just looks so beautiful, and like that was what I loved so much about like photography. Even when I started, like as a kid, like I would take pictures of things and like they look cool, but then I'd edit them and I'm like, whoa, it looks totally different now, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and then I started like messing with like the lighting or like doing different things or shooting at different times of day, and like I think that's kind of all rolled into me being just interested in like how the frame looks, you know.
Yeah.
Like, which is why I have so much respect for like sound guys, because like I don't know anything about that.
Right. Yeah.
But I am, yeah, so I'm impressed by people that have skills I do not. But yeah.
Sound,
yes, I know. I mean, I feel like in theory, like it would be like pretty simple to like learn or like ascertain, but yeah, I mean, I know enough to like make my audio sound good, but yeah, it's never squats pulled up. It's definitely not something I'd say I specialize in for sure. Yeah, I could do the bare minimum, but
yeah. You said are you getting more into video grading?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I definitely I fancy myself a colorist, but you know, like I think I would be like hesitant to say that before, because I'm like, oh, I'm like not like a I don't get like paid regularly to like color grade projects, but like I have in the past, and I like what I do. I think it looks good, you know, so I'm just putting it out there that I love color grading, and like, yeah, if anybody has any projects that they need to be color graded pro bono, I would absolutely love to help out. If you're
I just give it off to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked with him before we actually started production on the film. But,
don't even worry about it. But that's kind of the but yeah, 100%. It's something I've definitely fallen in love with, especially like the past like 2 years. Like I've really like dove into it, and yeah,
same here. I actually just started taking color grading a little bit more seriously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because before now I didn't know what a CST was.
Nice, dude.
Color space transform for anyone knowing. And my process would always be apply LUT first, and then do everything. Like it is such a big step in color grading when you learn to grade below the conversion.
Yes, 100%.
It just immediately, and it also makes camera matching so much easier.
It really is easy. I mean, I grade in DaVinci Wide Gamut, which is as opposed to like the 12 to 15 usable stops of your camera, it's like 20 plus. So like, I haven't come across a situation where I haven't been able to successfully match. Like at least I usually matching like Sony to Lumix, because like I'll be like I have a Lumix, my friends have Sony's, so like we're always mixing. But I've never had a situation where like within the, if like maybe this is a little like harsh, but if you have 20 stops of dynamic range and you can't match the two, you know, like I don't really know what to tell you. Like there's more practice, but yeah, like and that's, I mean, word to like how incredible DaVinci has been, you know, like I think that was like the big switch. I switched to DaVinci probably like 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. And like, that was when my color grading, like literally like when color grading became a thing for me. Before, you know, I would like put 2 adjustment layers and like up the contrast and the saturation maybe, and like change, like add some green or something. But like now it's like, the world is like totally opened up essentially. But,
with me, because I'm matching Sony to red.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously my A cam is a Komodo, and I have the FX3 as the B cam. It was so, because before I would do a couple of 2 camera setups where I would probably just like keep enabling and disabling the red clip, trying to like get it close. But like I also have a LUT that converts my red log to Airy log.
Nice. Yeah.
Which is, it just like gets it really, really close to an Alexa.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when I do the red to wide gamut and then wide gamut to 709, and then S-Log3 to gamut and then gamut to 709, it like I barely need to do anything to get it to look really, really close.
Yeah, that's
it's just incredible. Like it's such a game changer.
Absolutely. Yeah, my workflow's like gotten like pretty like I think I've gotten it to a point now where I'm like comfortable with it, where I can apply it to like almost anything. But I'm a huge like dehancer proponent. I love what it does to like the image, like and so I've been like I've done like tons of testing, but like I basically like it looks like kind of gnarly, but it's like wide into the wide gamut workspace, like the log into the wide gamut workspace, and then the wide gamut workspace like for like all my basic corrections, and then it's into Cineon, and then Cineon into Dehancer, because Cineon's a film profile and it's meant for actual like films that are scanned. So
Sure.
the Dehancer is like, it's meant to emulate film closely. So like in my opinion, when you put it on top of the Cineon and you grade for the Cineon transform through the Dehancer, like it just works way better. Like it affects everything much more. I think maybe because the Cineon gets it like super flat. I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
I could be like crushing some stops of dynamic range potentially, but I mean that's why I do the basic corrections like in the exposure before I do any of that. But I get like my base look out of like whatever, honestly sometimes I don't even apply a film stock in Dehancer, just like the print emulation looks so good and allows, like bring so much character, I honestly sometimes kind of stop there and just use like my log wheels to get to like a good place, like color wise or look wise. But
is the film emulations the thing you use Dehancer for the most?
Yeah, 100%. Just the print emulations, and the density like is really really good. They honestly like since Resolve 19 came out with like the saturation like splice tool that adds film density, like that's pretty robust as well. I still think Dehancer is a little bit better, but like it's so negligible. Like the difference is so small. Like you could get away with such I don't want to say film look because not everybody's after like all the artifacts and the grain and stuff, but like such filmic color out of just the basic Resolve tools with like that color slice like window now.
Color slice is pretty freaking sick.
Dude, it's so sick. Yeah, it reminds me a lot. It feels a lot like Lightroom to me because the Lightroom obviously is like similar tools. But yeah, I feel like maybe it makes me feel like kind of old because I'm like, I never thought I would get these tools in my video editor, but it's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because for me it's just like the reds and the skin tone, like I guess I don't know what you call them. I guess sliders.
Yeah.
Those are just like so samey to me. Like, because whenever I try to manipulate red, I mean, to be fair, it's probably a problem with how far I'm pushing it. Because
like the look itself.
Yeah, or the saturation of it.
Oh, I see.
Because oftentimes, because we just did a video for a company whose logo was red.
Yeah.
And I always brought it into slice and just like basically maxed out the saturation on the red.
Smash the red.
Yeah, just to make it look like nice and poppy.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, okay, yeah, this looks solid. And then I play the video and it like pans up to the guy's face, like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
So, for that, I have to swap back to HuVSat
for sure
to just like actually dial it in. But I generally do like the look that color slice gets you.
It's incredible. More. Yeah, it gets like a lot. It's like a lot of horsepower, like is the way I describe it, I guess. But I mean, even a lot of times, like I've seen a lot of like some of the most beautiful grades I've seen are people that don't even work in a wide gamut workspace because like a lot of times like if you expose well in camera, like you don't really need like the 20 stops of color, in the wide gamut workspace. You might only need whatever your camera had in the log, and like, because most of the time I do. It's kind of funny because it's counterintuitive, right? We try to like use like the color space transforms and these tools to get to like a place where we have the most possible latitude with the color to make the most comprehensive and punchy looks, and they make like a very subtle like Ari like sort of esque look that's like very like subtle. It's like you could have done that like without the 20 plus stops, but or like the other day like I was doing what am I thinking of like this like curves like for like my like blues and stuff to try and get like more like blues in the shadows and like just stuff like that and greens, and like I was like pushing and pulling it, and I'm like, this is like really heavy handed, and I like turned down the node intensity like almost all the way, and I was like, oh, now this looks really good, and it's like, why didn't I just use like not but it's just about having that flexibility, I suppose. You have the option to do some like either really subtle like basic look or some Euphoria-esque crazy like color.
Yeah, also a huge shift for me was utilizing power windows.
Oh, for sure.
Because like there's the classic one of just like taking the subject with the I think ellipse, but circular power window and just like brightening them up just a little bit. I've also started using it recently because whenever you are looking at it as a DP, you want to try to do like a checkerboard pattern. So like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark.
Yeah, to create some interest. Yeah.
I've been doing that with grading too, because a lot of the times for whatever reason I wouldn't be able to get on set. So there was I could show you it afterwards, or
that'd be cool.
I might post it before and after, honestly, like Instagram or something.
I'd love to see that, dude. Hell yeah.
But I just like increased the level on the subject, and then like on either side of him, I kind of put this like pillar of just like not like darkness, but I just lowered the midtones,
exposure, in a certain area, maybe a little bit. Yeah, it's brilliant. Actually, that's an interesting idea. I wouldn't really think about.
And so it's just fun because, like, especially if you are the DP and the colorist, you can kind of use your color tools to kind of like do something that you couldn't quite get either for equipment reasons or time reasons, or you just didn't think about it at the time.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, word to that. Like, it's such a powerful skill to have, like, you know, especially if you are like the DP or the director or something like that. If you're really like, you know, like savvy in color grading, like it will like, it really lends itself to you making better decisions on set. I mean, I guess you could argue that with like every position in post, right? If you like no editing, no color grading, no sound design, like everything you do on set's going to be like a little bit more dialed. But, you know, everybody's kind of a jack of all trades nowadays, I guess. But
yeah. I feel like there is also the aspect of when you're the DP on something and you send it to a colorist, you're kind of almost spinning the wheel whether or not they will
achieve your vision.
Yeah. That's why I kind of always, I don't know if advocate is the right word, but in a perfect world, I think that all DPs would, if not be the colorist, or just because obviously some don't have the time to learn the skill, at least get like the ability to have input in the color grading phase.
Yeah,
because a lot of the times it could totally. Because I think Wicked was a good recent example.
Did you? I mean, I didn't read too far into this, but I saw like the colorist and the DP like doubling down on the look. Like, but I mean, okay, but here's a good thought experiment for us, right? So you say, like, this is tinfoil hat here, but like, say they, for whatever budgetary constraint or huge reason, they like couldn't get the look they wanted, like, like, you know, basically in the grade, right? Because I feel like the lighting in the movie was fine, but like, in the grade, and like for whatever reason, you know, they weren't able to achieve, like, do you just be like, oh yeah, like we really just couldn't get it, so sorry, or do you double down? You know, I feel like more than likely you would just like commit to the bit, like for marketing and studio reasons, you know, but if you're like, no, this is the look we wanted and achieved, but you know,
I mean, my thing is also just like these, like, I'm in no place to be talking shit on these literal industry professionals.
Yes, you can.
But here on the IndieFilm Insider podcast, we do that.
We took shots at Marvel in our first episode, I think.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the way to do it, man.
Welcome. But sponsor us, Marvel.
Yeah, please sponsor.
But yeah, I don't know, because it just seems objectively incorrect to do anything except raise saturation on a film that takes place in Oz.
Yeah. I mean, look, like, yeah, man. I completely agree. I don't have anything against like low saturation looks though. Like literally one of my favorite, like, I feel like I have to shout this out to the people that watch this, but there's an artist and filmmaker by the name of Bennett Coast. It's absolutely incredible. A lot of his like film stuff is literally just based around him, like, in his music, and like, but he has this video on YouTube called "This Is How I See the World," and like probably one of my favorite looking videos I've ever seen. Like, it's just incredible, and the subject matter is also like very sweet and unique, and but it's very desaturated. Some parts of the video, like there's in the end, are like almost gray, like with the, but it serves the vision of like the video and the story he's telling. And so yeah, I'm definitely not against desaturated looks, like, but like, you know, for the purpose of the story, which is the most fantastical realm you could possibly conceive, I feel like it should be a little saturated, you know. But yeah, absolutely.
I think there's a thing with that. Like, a lot of people are talking about how like we're sort of a lot of like lighting and like coloring in the latest films are more natural, and like they're obsessed with trying to be like look as natural and realistic as possible. And I've heard some people say that's kind of like to the detriment of 100%. Like interesting visuals. Like this over obsession with like supernatural lighting. I watched like a horror movie that I forgot what it was. It was some cheap, stupid horror movie from the 80s. And like when there's like it's like half of the movie is like at night, and like you can just tell that someone was holding a light, like probably shining a flashlight on them to illuminate them, and like because you can see it like swaying, and like that's so fake looking. But like it like still like looked kind of interesting. It was like it was like distracting, obviously. Absolutely. But like I don't know. I'm not trying to say that that's like the best way to go. Like that's stupid. But that's like an interesting thing is like it kind of has sort of dialed it back to a so natural state where it feels just like bland and boring now.
Definitely. I mean, it's like that's like I like when you say that, like I think of the comparison between like something like you know, like naturalistic, like maybe like Prisoners is like one of my favorite like naturalistically lit movies, or naturalistically lit movies. And then like, you know, one of my favorite lit shows like Euphoria, like, right? Like they could not be more night and day, but are both equally incredible, you know, in their own right. So like, as long as you have a clear vision of what the lighting and the color is going to look like in the finished project, and it's intentional, I don't think you can go wrong, you know. But when you do something that's not like maybe in a Wicked context, you know, in this humble grip's opinion, and something that doesn't seem super intentional and seems to be just a bit of like riding the trend or whatever, like budget constraints they had, you know, like it seems like it doesn't pan out as well. So,
yeah. I also think a really good example of like the naturalistic lighting tone that works is Better Call Saul.
Also, it's, totally.
It's super interesting because obviously that is the like really natural. Because I also think a lot of people know this by now, but a lot of cinematography is production design.
Totally. Yeah.
And also I think there is something to be said where if you if you were on set that day, if you knew how the sausage was made, you probably think it looks a little bit worse than it does.
Totally. Absolutely.
Because for me, I posted some stills yesterday for was it yesterday?
Yeah. Yesterday, which I really enjoyed, by the way. They were very good. Yeah.
Thank you for a set of people for a living. And when I look at like the nighttime shots, I am very, very happy with how those came out personally. But because I knew, okay, there was this panel light shining blue on the back of his head, and there was this big key light that was shining warm light on his front side.
Yeah,
it looks fine.
Right. Totally.
Or like the shot where we boomed the F-22C like 20 feet in the air.
Right, exactly.
For moonlight. I'm like, I can tell that there's a light there.
Sure.
I can, but I guarantee you the average person looking at that, they're like, that's moonlight.
The layman can't, tell, absolutely. And I mean, I think the thing is like, especially with like moonlight, like it's like you have to do your best because like ideally should we have had like a giant balloon up, right? With like, you know, a huge light in it, like of course, right? But it's like, dude, with the equipment that we had access to, like I was very happy with how it looked. But like of course, like, you know,
it's like ideally, do I want to boom a 5,000 watt HMI 37 feet up on a cherry picker? Sure.
Right.
Can I do that?
No, probably not. Yeah. We could have sent Connor up in the tree with a 1200 and like done this, right? But no, like, but absolutely. And I mean there's a good balance between there's a good balance between those two mindsets, right? Like where you can, you know, appreciate that like it like does look very good, and to the layman, like of course they can't tell, but also like you're like, oh, maybe in the future, like maybe we could try this, or like maybe this, right? You know, that's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, of course. And then also in my mind for that one, I think in my opinion, the two best days visually were the cafe day and the backyard night scene.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say the cafe was my favorite. Absolutely.
Those were the 2 days that we had you and Connor on board to help with.
Oh, it's coincidentally my least favorite days.
Coincidentally, my least favorite days. Yeah, something about the crew that day. I don't know. Like,
those assholes.
Just kidding, of course.
Contributing with not only the gear, obviously, that you guys graciously brought, but the skills.
Oh, dude, that
you guys had. Yeah. I guarantee you there will be somebody who watches it and doesn't know the production that went into those 2 days and the level of stuff we had on set, how many people we had helping, and we're like, this shot looks great, and it was me and Jake standing and just pointing a camera somewhere,
or like a reflector, and that was it. No, absolutely. It's funny. I did like recently, like I shot like a music visualizer for an artist, like literally in a field, and I had one reflector, and I had a diffuser I didn't use. Also, we were gonna diffuse the light and make it look, but I just ended up not using it. Like just me and my friend was holding the reflector, and like people were DMing me or like how did you like do it? And I'm like, dude, like this is like the like don't tell anyone, but this was really easy. Like I feel like that also is just like as the skills that you have grow and improve, you think stuff that a beginner or a layman would be like really, really impressed by. You'd be like, wow, that shit's simple. Right. Yeah.
Because like I feel like I don't know if imposter syndrome is the right word, but like some of the stills that I put out, I look back on and I'm not the happiest with.
For sure.
But I'm getting so many glazers in the comments like, yo, this is incredible. Oh my God, bro. I'm like, this is fine.
Yeah.
It's not anything amazing, totally. But like I'm sure they think it is.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I definitely struggle with the same thing. It's good, like when I'm told by like those close to me, that's like you just need to be like proud of yourself, but be like able to like, you know, maybe see some areas where you can improve. But ultimately, like the majority of the feeling should be like, oh yeah, I did that and it looks good, you know. But yeah, I get it, because I'll do something and I'll like be looking at it, I'm like, fuck. But like that's my problem though. It's like I said before, is like I'll do something, I'll work really hard on it or put a bunch of energy into it, and then I'm just like, it's just not doing exactly what I want, like exactly what I want, and then like I'll just kind of like I get overwhelmed and like push it to the side. But this time I'm gonna finish writing that goddamn script. So
you heard it here first.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I know.
Yes. Not only do you have all your friends and all your colleagues,
Public.
now it's public.
Yes,
now you have to.
The millions of people now watching, they will all know.
We need to come up with a name for the listeners.
The IndieFilm Insider listeners. Yeah.
Oh, like a
Jake Paulers.
Mavericks.
The Mavericks. They were both of the Paul brothers' names came up. Oh my god,
they're fucking iconic.
They really
dude.
are, man. I unfortunately like that was like some of my first YouTube videos were Logan Paul vlogs. I remember like he made a vlog at Burning Man. I remember watching it. He had like 500K or something at the time. And then I freaking watched his vlogs like through like, you know, middle and high school until he had like however many hundreds of millions of followers.
Yeah.
I watched the Suicide Forest vlog like and I was like, I remember like they showed the scene, you know, and I was like, oh, that's fake. Like there's no way, like he's totally, and I got mad because I'm like, oh, he's totally faking for views. And I remember I closed it and I like went to go like look at the video again, and I'm like, because I was gonna show my friend, I'm like, oh, it's gone. I'm like, weird. Little did I know, you know. You can't. But now, currently, all my knowledge of Logan and Jake Paul's completely, I've learned completely against my will. So
right,
that's
exactly.
I actually watched all of Logan's vlogs in like April 2020, like quarantine.
Oh my god, no way.
Like because he unironically had some bangers.
Oh, dude, I remember. Yeah, well, a lot of the people that have like done like cool like videos for him, like Jake. I know Jake Paul's editor and like Logan's photographer for the longest time. I still follow. They're both incredible like artists, you know. So yeah, he's definitely employed some good people over the years for sure.
Yeah, but, Logan's editor too. I'm sure you know who he is.
Yeah,
Hayden Hillier-Smith.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, what's their podcast?
The editing podcast.
That's for the editing podcast. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say the podcast that always has the Brookside ads. You know what I'm talking about? Riverside or Brookside. See, like that's a place to see how much attention I've been paying. But yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it's how I learned about Riverside.
That was how I learned about it.
We've used it for, I guess, two, but basically one.
Yeah.
Oh. Right.
Interview, and it's better than Zoom.
No, 100%.
Which we used for our first remote interview, and fuck that.
That was quite tragic. I would understand. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've used Zoom for client consultation, and that's about it. But
they're so. There's like a whole like 40-minute limit or whatever it is now. Like that was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a pain, bro.
And I think Riverside just like basically
it's unlimited,
infinite.
It's completely infinite. Yeah.
And you don't need to download an app or anything. Like you just send someone the link, and then they can just. You do it through like their browser.
That's so epic.
So
okay. Riverside sponsor us.
Riverside.
Shout out Riverside. Yeah. Please ignore the fact that I called it Brookside first. My bad.
Oh yeah, that might hurt our sponsorship.
Yeah. Sorry, boys. Yeah.
God damn it. We'll fire him afterwards.
Okay,
don't worry.
Thanks, guys.
Fire the guest.
Fire the guest.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You won't get your ad revenue.
I won't get my ad revenue. No, absolutely. Yeah. You'll have no affiliation. We wiped from the internet.
Yes. Yeah. The 60 views we'll get on this episode.
Yeah. It's like
yes.
Yeah.
Did you see? I don't know how entrenched you were in this, but iDubbbz just released a new content cop.
Oh my god! Did he really? Against who?
H3. Yeah.
H3.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be big. Yeah, I used to be like really deep in the like political streamer sort of universe. Like I was previously a huge Destiny supporter, like a huge previously. I listened to Hassan all the time, and like that was like I'm really getting exposed for my political views right now. But I've taken a back step from all of that stuff. But like H3 was like big at the time as well, and obviously I'd seen all these YouTube videos when I was a young lad. But
kind of the craziest shit for that was like it's shot identically to how he shot them back in like 2016, 2017. Yeah,
man, I kind of love that, dude.
Yeah,
it's a crazy throwback.
Oh man, I'll have to go watch it. That'll be a little
still
nice
the same like shit editing.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Yeah. Like I remember the Rice Gum content cop so vividly, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, same. I was walking out of math class in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And I checked my phone and I got a YouTube notification.
Yeah.
And I texted the group chat, be like, "Holy shit,
look!" Yeah.
Well, yeah, because someone texted me it, and I was like, oh, like of course, because it was titled Content Cop Jake Paul, right?
Oh, yeah.
For Rice Gum.
Yeah.
And I remember I thought that was like, I was like, that's so stupid. Like, of course he did Jake Paul. Like, that's such an easy, like, you know, like easy target.
Easy pick.
And then I clicked on the video. I was like, oh yes,
Rice Gum.
Rice Gum.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
The edgy days.
Such a strange era. Yeah, we were reared in. We grew up in like internet fame. You know, that was so fascinating.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. Dark times.
The dark ages. Yeah, I know.
It was really
when Rice Gum and young Jake Paul were running the internet. Yeah. They were ruining the internet, but
yeah, bro, it's crazy. Apparently, 50% of Gen Z, I guess, kids want to be influencers now.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like they see like, you know, people like these young people that like are living these idealized lives and are just posting everything to social media, and it looks like glamorous and excellent and like, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now like it's more possible than ever to like be like at least make some semblance of a living from social media or from some sort of social influence of some kind, you know. But yeah, it's interesting. I know, like, well, who are we gonna have left? Everybody's influencers, you know, like yeah.
I mean, because like I feel like people don't know what it takes to be an influencer.
No, 100%.
Like people, because being an influencer, unless you're like a fucking Instagram model, I guess, if being an influencer is all about just making videos.
Yeah, it's a constant like conveyor belt of content. Yeah,
and because like you can want to be an influencer all you want, but like try making a YouTube video a week for 3 years.
Yeah, totally. I know. I find it so. I think that was like the other thing I found. I do, you know, have to respect about like Logan and like on just people like Casey Neistat. Obviously, of course, I've got the Casey Neistat tattoo.
Oh, dude,
but yeah,
really?
do what you can't.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but that's my favorite Casey Neistat video. But like just the absolute like meat grinder of a grind it is to like make, you know, a video, like a vlog with a story, especially in Casey's like sense, every single day, you know. Like it's so impressive. So impressive. You just have to dedicate like just 90% of your life to just like that, you know? Yeah.
I was in a Casey Neistat video.
Oh, really? No way.
In the background.
Oh, that's incredible, dude.
I was in New York City with my family. Yeah. Because all my dad's side of the family is like in New York.
Yeah.
And then I saw this dude on a longboard going down the street with like the fucking, you know, his hair and like the fucking camera. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat, dude. Yeah.
I you can see me in the background pointing at him, and I kept refreshing his YouTube channel every day for like 3 weeks after, and then he finally uploaded it. I skimmed through all of it, and then I saw me with my red hoodie and my like blue hat. I was like, yes, that's me.
Yes.
And I'm like, you can see me for like 3 frames in a Casey Neistat video.
That's beautiful, dude. That's incredible.
I screenshotted it.
Oh, dude, yeah. What a magical moment, dude.
I know.
That's so awesome. And then the craziest thing, because back when is he uploading now?
I honestly haven't watched his videos in a long time. Last time I watched, I'm a bit of a fake fan, I guess, but like last time I watched one of his videos was when he uploaded the video about his brother Van Neistat, like in his YouTube channel, which is like kind of like more engineering, sort of unique, like which is also like similarly well shot and beautiful and excellent, and so I watched a little bit of that, but I don't know.
Because I remember one of the reasons that he quit, like the first time or I guess the big time, I don't know, is because he got the hang of it.
Yeah.
Because he would know exactly, because originally it was a challenge, like shooting a video, editing it, and then getting it ready for posting the next day at 8 a.m. or whatever. He found his rhythm.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, fuck that, I'm out of here.
That's just, I mean, that's just word to like what a brilliant creator he is, you know? Like he was just like, okay, next challenge. Like, But yeah, dude. Shout out Casey, dude. He's an absolute legend. Definitely was like one of my first inspirations into being like, oh, I could feasibly like be a filmmaker, you know? I mean, I think that's what that video means to me, right? Is like, when he talks about like moving to New York with like whatever, he had like $15 in his pocket. He's like, you know, you can't like, he's like, you know, I want to be a filmmaker and like move to the city. He's like, you can't. He's like, oh, but you can like go couch surf at your friend's apartment, right? And like try to turn your $15 into 30 and then try, you know? So like, that's always been something I've definitely like resonated with and like told myself, you know, when I'm pursuing especially things in filmmaking.
Yeah, I feel like people who say being a YouTuber is all luck are just coping.
Dude, yeah, no, it takes so much
hard.
work. You have to post for years to get any sort of I think that's I definitely, there was a time where I wanted to throw my hat in that ring, but I just put like I'll if I make a video I think it's cool, like I'm working on sort of like here and there I'm working on this really long form video. It's like a bunch of like set BTS and me like hanging out with friends and stuff. It's like very sort of vlog-esque. Like it's more so like just at first it was just to practice color grading, but now it's kind of becoming like a cohesive thing. I'll post that eventually, but it's gonna be like 20 plus minutes, just random, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to serve the algorithm with that, you know, by any means, but yeah. So to me, it's just more of like an outlet or dumping ground for all my extra videos. But
yeah, dude, the craziest thing right now about YouTube is, I don't know the correct phrase for it, but like, let's just call them content farms.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
There are these channels who upload videos that have no faces in them. I'm not gonna say they're made by AI because I don't think they are.
Oh yeah.
But like faceless videos. With some kind of VO, maybe it's the person who runs it. Maybe they did an AI VO. Maybe they paid someone on Fiverr. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's like they upload like a video a day.
Yeah.
Damn. And at that point, it's kind of crazy because that people treat those as businesses more than YouTube channels.
I mean, because they probably make so much money from that, which is just like, I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, it's really crazy.
Because one that I was actually digging into, because I was curious, because it seems so fucking easy,
Yeah.
is there are these like police body cam channels. There's like 5 or 6 huge ones.
Oh yeah, well one of is there's one called Donut Operator. I like.
Oh no, not him.
Oh no, okay.
Because he actually shows his face in the videos.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Like yes.
Yeah,
okay.
He seems chill, but like the ones I'm talking about is they literally just. I think you have to like email the jurisdiction and make sure that they have a policy where they release body cam on request, like to a FOIA request or something. And they literally just upload police body cam footage.
Yeah, and it'll be like this officer like came to this scene and then this happened and it just plays the clip.
Yeah, voice, auto-generated subtitles. I've seen one that's like kind of cool where they actually cut between multiple POVs and like actually try to do some semblance of storytelling.
Sure, yeah.
But there are some where they're just like here at this really traumatic moment of this person's life where they were like on drugs or made a really big mistake or
some horrible tragedy occurred.
Yeah, dumb idiot brawls cop gets annihilated. 2 million views.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, it's like the perfect sort of storm, right? It's like preying on our nature to like want these hyper sort of like little pockets of like aggression or like violence, right? Like, I mean, I love combat sports and like my algorithm always serves me videos of like fucking police and people fighting in the street. Like I watch it, I can't help it, you know. But yeah, like if you were to have like a sort of AI, like or like just AI voiceover and like just have a team of people that just turn those videos out and you just oversee it, like you could make like thousands of dollars a month, thousands of dollars. Yeah.
No, dude, fuck that. Like tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands
billions,
of dollars every single month. Billions every month. Yeah.
No, I've seen those too. It's really like scary, like what that like I guess implies. I don't know. It sounds like it's super low effort.
Yeah,
and it has like no actual like merit for anything.
I know. I've had I think about that a lot in terms of like with like especially in like narrative filmmaking, like with like the financial like a lot of times like I like a lot of people in my life, which I'm very grateful for, but they're like, you know, well it's like financially like the long term like goal of like being like a narrative film director, like what do you, and I was like, well, the dream is to like you sacrifice the financial security and like even just like the financial like I want to say this correctly. You have this vision in your head, right, of this thing you want to create, and it takes potentially millions and millions of dollars to make it, and like you put yourself through all this stuff, and at the end you really don't get paid, but your reward is that you've now thankfully like put this thing, your vision, you know, your baby basically out into the world, you know, and you've manifested it. Like I think a lot about that when I like, especially like the previous Academy Award winners like Sean Baker and I'm forgetting the name of the director of The Brutalist right now, but he had a similar situation. And like just not making like maybe any money at all off of something that's won Oscars, you know, like I think in, you know, is a little scary, but also like to me, that's the dream. You know, like, I don't care if I have to like
starving artist. Baby.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't really care if I have to continue to like, like scrape money together to pay rent, as long as like I can like make what I want to make, you know, like that's like, I feel like that's the dream to me. But,
yeah, because I'm pretty sure Sean Baker made like, I think 100,000 off of Nora.
Right.
That was his director's fee.
Right. Yeah.
And that encompasses like 4 years.
Right. Exactly.
Of writing the script, troubleshooting it, finding funding, going through all the shit to get this movie made.
Yeah.
Bam! It won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He wasn't paid for like any of the promotional shit.
Right. Exactly. Like, well, the promotion, like the promotional advertising and stuff alone was like 18 million. You know, and the budget was 10 million. Like,
budget was 6.
Oh, the budget was 6.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that. See. Over here spreading misinformation on the IndieFilm Insider podcast.
We will fact check.
We will fact check. Yeah, a little fact check. Yeah, please.
Yeah, just freeze frame. Fact check.
Fact check.
Dean, in fact, is an idiot.
Dean is in fact completely stupid. Yeah. Why did we let the grip speak? We don't know, but he's giving you misinformation.
You said you were a key grip. I thought
I thought you were the one who could talk. No, they found me out. I fucking
demoted
back to normal grip.
Yes, beta grip.
Beta grip once again. Oh
yes.
man, yeah.
The interconnectivity of this podcast. I called back to the foreshadowing.
Yes, yeah. You see, in the business, folks, that's what we call a callback. That's exactly
yes. And then foreshadowing in the film business.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Nora was made on the humble budget of $6 million.
$6 million, yeah.
Just, a little indie film.
Absolutely. Just a little indie film, that's something light. Yeah. I think it's funny. I was explaining to someone the other day, like, how much movies cost, somebody who like isn't in filmmaking or anything like that. He's like a friend of mine, and he's like, I was like, well, like I was talking about like the script I'm writing, and I'm like, how much I think I could do it for and whatever. And he was like, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, brother, that is nothing. It was like, I think it was like 15 or 20 grand or something like that, like, and I was like, dude, that's nothing. Like, I was like, name a movie, like name any movie, like, and like, I can't remember. I'm not gonna be able to remember it at this time, but like, like he was like something like it was some small movie, and I was like, oh yeah, like only like $680,000. He's like $680,000, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm like, what do you think they made Endgame for? Like, what do you think they made?
The third episode we did, we talked with the line producer, and he was saying that like he will like look at like a micro budget feature film, and he was like, I'll look at a micro budget feature, like, that's around $200,000, $300,000. I'm like, what do you mean
micro budget?
I know,
I actually like listened to that episode, and there was a lot of very good nuggets in there for sure.
Yes,
but,
thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
Yes.
But
you can find it in the description.
You like that?
Shameless
plug, but genuinely, like, I mean, it's funny, like when you're super embedded in it, and you're like, oh my god, only $6 million, that's crazy. But like, just think about like what $6 million would look like sitting here right now, like it's absurd. Like,
I could probably, if I got paid $6 million right now, I could probably retire.
Bro, absolutely.
Like I would not do anything for the rest of my life.
Yeah, if you just lived like a normal, like if I'm just hanging out, for the rest of my life, $6 million is totally fine. Yeah, absolutely. But
unless you want to make a movie.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be just hanging out for the rest of my life. I'm going to use that $6 million to make a movie.
Yeah. Sean Baker sponsor us.
Sean Baker sponsor us, I guess. Please, yeah.
Just don't watch episode 7.
Don't watch episode 7, please.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like because it's like $6 million. It's low, but you also got to think like, if their budget was only $6 million, why the fuck did they shoot the whole thing on 35 mm film?
Because
like you couldn't have made a bit of a better business decision and just shoot it on an Arri Alexa 35.
The artistic integrity, man.
And it's
I get what you're saying, but
it's just.
It doesn't look the same, man.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same.
Fuck you.
Hey, the fuck average filmite answer. Yeah,
yes.
But no, I mean, he's
average
known.
Cinephile.
Yeah, just cinephile. He's known for filming with wacky cameras. Like, I mean, obviously, like, what was the name of his
Tangerine.
His directorial debut. Yeah, with the iPhone. Yeah, like
was that a debut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's so crazy because everyone cites that as the first big like project movie that was shot on an iPhone.
Yeah,
it was like 3 iPhone 5S's.
Yeah,
and you can tell it looks like shit.
Yeah, it looks like shit. You can tell. But I mean,
we lost our sponsorship.
We lost our Apple sponsorship. Wait, no, come back. Yeah. Oh my God, Tim Cook right now is somewhere like.
Send the boys.
Send the boys. Yeah, cut them off. Yeah. Oh man. No, but I mean, I think he's like that's why I keep bringing him up. Obviously, he's like one of my favorite working directors. You know, like, and I think I'm not all of his movies are like honestly like my favorite, but I just respect the way he makes films so much, like the scrappiness and like the like the sort of struggling artists like energy is the best way I could describe it. Like he's like I will make this work. You know, like it's the stubbornness of it. I all of his films I appreciate so much and I really enjoy and I go back to like pretty often. I just watched Red Rocket for the first time, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was funny because my girlfriend is from like South Texas and she lived like 10 minutes away from the town they filmed it in.
Oh, shit.
And it was really funny because like I like put it on to like show her some stuff and she was like, wait a minute, you know, because it's like but I just love that he's giving a voice to these places that are like so obscure, you know. And I just
like Manhattan,
correct. Yes. But yeah, thank you. And LA, you know, nobody knows about it. Yeah, but no, literally. But yeah, I think like I feel like when I see his work, I get inspired just because like I know how like little he's done. Like he's made so much out of like so little. Like he's such a unique voice, like out of like a significantly smaller budget than like 90% of other Hollywood productions. You know. Yeah. So I find that inspiring. But yeah.
What's your biggest influence, writing wise?
Oh man. Local script man on YouTube. Do you guys know who that is?
I don't
you
really
do? Okay. Yeah. Unironically, excellent channel, but
local script man sponsor
us.
Please.
Yeah, please, for the love of God. No, man. I don't know. Like, I have a lot. I mean, I have so many influences. I'm such like, I've been trying to tell myself like this year I'm going to be more of like a creator rather than a consumer. I consume so much goddamn media. All of the media I'm consuming all times. But I mean, it's good because you develop inspirations, right? You know, which is important. But I really love the way the Safdie brothers write, like a lot of their projects. That's like my favorite. Like every time I write something, I notice I'm definitely emulating them a little bit for sure. I love like the real like conversation. I love the chaos of it, you know? It feels so all over the place, but it's super intentional, you know? Yeah. Like I've watched Uncut Gems like probably 5 or 6 times because I just love it. Like, and I love like, especially like the first scene in the jewelry shop and like, just like how jarring it is. Like the score is like beating you over the head, like with how loud it is. And like everybody's talking and it's abrasive, but you're still getting all these like little character details like thrown in there. It's just, bro. Yeah. So I think that is kind of like where I'd say like, that's the goal, right? Like Uncut Gems, like that writing is the goal. Like, and I'm maybe striving towards that always, but yeah.
That's a really difficult. I mean, because I think in Good Time with Safdie brothers,
also
I think
incredible.
Yeah. There's like a one of the first opening scenes. There's like 4. It's like they're what the fuck is it called? Bail bonds.
Right.
He's trying to bail his brother out.
Yeah. He's having a conversation with.
There's like 4 people talking, and there's 2 different conversations, and they're cutting back and forth between them.
Yeah.
And like they just talked about. I saw an interview where they talked about like writing that scene. Yeah. And like they had no idea how to like format it. Yeah. So they like basically I don't know. I might be lying here, so this might be misinformation. But I think
this is still fun.
I think they basically had to like write like almost 2 scripts like side by side, and then like look at them, and then they could like figure out and keep track of like what was being said.
Right.
I'm like, that's overkill.
Nah, dude, that's
it's insane.
Yeah. But that's like that insanity leads to like it translates to the screen, you know? Like, Good Time is like, I mean, I always like shout out Uncut Gems because like, even though like it's a darker movie, like it's like you could still have a good time. You could still have a good time watching it. Like, cause it's like you know, obviously the casting of both those movies are incredible, but I think specifically for like people like people our age, like just who grew up like on Adam Sandler movies, you know, like you see Adam Sandler and you can't help but like feel the charisma, you know? So like, even though it's this horribly dark subject matter, like I feel like I could watch that movie as many times and not be sick of it. But like I've seen Good Time twice and I had to take a break both times after watching it. Like that shit. Yeah. It's a heavy movie. Yeah. I love it. Like I loved it so much, but
Have you seen The Curse?
I've not seen The Curse.
Okay.
No.
Watch that one next.
That one out too. Okay.
Because that one's filmed really weird. They filmed it in HD, but when they edited it and they exported it in 4K, so it stretches.
Whoa! Is it Nathan Fielder?
It's the Nathan Fielder one, and it has Benny Safdie playing his like producer, and then I think it's written by Benny Safdie, and maybe directed.
I've definitely heard about this. This sounds really familiar.
But they filmed it that was one thing they did with the editing. And then when they were filming it, they filmed it, I think, in like second base ISO during the daytime, and they put an ND filter over it.
Yeah.
And then they cranked it even probably far beyond that too with the ISO. And then it was filmed so strangely.
That's
and
incredible.
They wanted it to like look aggressively digital and fake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a really interesting choice.
Yeah.
Because like if you weren't like one of the Safdie brothers and you did that, they would probably think you're like an idiot who doesn't know how to use a camera.
What is wrong with you? You're actually crazy. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I thought that was like a really interesting way, because I never have heard of someone like purposely like sabotaging their own footage in that way.
Well, and it's like the same thing kind of like with like the holdovers, like with like the way they mix their audio, you know, like to make it sound older, like, or like they used, I'm gonna butcher this, but they used like older like equipment to like pick everything up. Like,
Oh, no.
And they did like some sort of like, it was shot digitally, but they did like a crazy, I've literally watched like a video essay about this. I should know this, but I'm consuming, this is the problem. I'm too much of a consumer. I consume too much media to possibly keep in here all the time.
Exactly.
But but they did some crazy film emulation process where they like recorded like the frame like through like some digital means to add like basically gate weave like to like simulate the film like traveling through, you know?
In holdovers?
In the holdovers, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's absolutely. So shot digitally, but it looks very convincingly like it's shot on film and sounds like it's like a movie from, you know, like the 80s. Like
it also helps with like the acting, and then all the like every aspect of that film feels like an 80s film.
It really does. Yeah,
so like the way like the actors even talk and act, and then also the way it sounds. Yeah, I think that stuff also really helps sell the film look too.
Absolutely.
Set design too.
Yeah, film look. Sure. Yes, like you said, 100% like is sold via the wardrobe and the set itself, and like the situation. Like if I emulate film, but I'm in a like I'm like in front of a Tesla and like in front of and like a Tesla dealership, like it doesn't look very filmic, you know?
Bottle of Prime.
Right, exactly, with a bottle of Prime, and I'm eating a Feastival, you know? Yeah, but it doesn't look very filmic. But if I take like maybe somebody in like some like older clothing and they're like in the back of like a old red pickup truck in a field, or like even like early 2000s, doesn't have to be that old. Yeah, and I did put a film emulation on it. They're like, oh wow, like was it, you know, right? It becomes more believable. But yeah, it's about like you can only because I mean, to me, a film look is about like just injecting sort of this nostalgic energy into your look, and like you can only inject so much nostalgia into something that is like objectively not nostalgic, you know, like but that's when you get like, you know, looks that like really embrace the digital, you know, the digital side of things. Like I think a lot about like the last John Wick and like how like aggressively like digital it is, like the most high end. They're like, let's see how nice we can make it, you know?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
There's nothing but like that movie is so clean, like in its look and its execution.
Exactly. I think it's definitely a tool, you know,
100%.
The film emulation stuff. I think people are like, I think you can't just like kind of randomly use it. You have to like have a goal with it.
There needs to be a point. Yeah, for sure. Like, like we said before, it's like the intention is like the biggest thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Because with our one right now, we're kind of dabbling a little bit with that. We're like messing around to see like if that's going to be something we want to do.
Sure.
If we want to go with the film look.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. On that note, Dean, if anybody wants to find your work, where can they do that?
You go to my Instagram, Dean_Garcia. It's pretty simple. Or just look up Dean Garcia, filmmaker and photographer, and you can find my website with like my portfolio and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm just interested in getting in the narrative space like as much as I possibly can, and like would love to hear about your projects. And thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure. You guys are great. I love working with you guys, so this is cool.
Yeah, of course. It was a great episode. If you want to find me, I'm at owencardp on Instagram. Link will be in the description. Jake, God damn it,
Jake,
where can they find you?
They can find me at Jake Rossbell on Instagram.
Let's freaking go.
Thank you so much for watching to this episode. My fucking God, dude. It's not even late.
I know, right? I feel like it all kind of hit us at the same time. Yeah. It's all good, man.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of IndieFilm Insider. Do all the YouTube bullshit, like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to check out this previous episode with writer, director, actor David Vorderstrass, it is right here on screen, or you can check it out in the link in the description.